Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be setting up our family budget for the month of July, and I'm using a monthly kit from Letruce Paperie. I also added on an extra set of transparent stickers. I'm starting with the monthly overview and I'm whiting out the title at the top. I decided that I didn't have to white out the kaleidoscope design underneath the days of the week because the sticker that I added on top was a darker navy color. I like flipping the planner upside down to help me get these stickers down straight, and I also like to use the edge of the paper as a guide. Then I'm going to be covering up the days that are not in the month of July with this scallop sticker, and I decided to go with the yellow since the thin strip is blue. On this page, I like to write down all the transactions for the 5 different categories that we're keeping track of. So in the sidebar, I like to write myself a key since I color code those 5 different categories. Next, I'm going to be flipping back to the very first page, and this page is right next to the July tab, so it's really easy to access. But this is where I like to keep our July budget. It's really a great overview of all of our finances. At the top, I like to write our income, and for the most part, our income doesn't change, but just like last month, we had another expense come up with our rental property, so we most likely won't be receiving any income from that. But this is definitely something that we expect to happen from time to time. When owning a rental property, expenses do come up, so we always have money set aside for that. Underneath the income, I will add a strip of washi, and below that, I will list out all of our expenses. We do have quite a few expenses, so I like to divide those out into variable and fixed. This really allows me to write all of them on one page. I actually forgot to write out all of the numbers for our budget on camera, but as far as any changes, our utilities definitely went up significantly. The amount is almost double what it was last month. It has been a lot hotter for many more days in California, so it doesn't completely surprise me. I remember having similar numbers last year. For groceries, I kept the budget the same at $700. For dining out, I decided to add $100, making it $350. We have been consistently over budget on dining out, so I decided to make that change this month. For gas, I decided to decrease this amount by $100, making it $150. My husband went on a work trip for the first week of July, and since last month we were under budget by almost $150, I decided to change that category as well. And then household is staying the same at $200. I had written myself a note in June to add pool maintenance to our budget, and I decided to add it to the variable expenses side because although the service is a fixed amount, every month we've paid different amounts based on the extra chlorine that we may have needed. So that really hasn't been consistent, and I decided to keep track of that on the variable expenses side. As far as our fixed expenses, for the month of July, we actually don't have to pay our mortgage for California or Washington. We are in the process of refinancing both of those houses, so it's kind of a weird situation where we don't have to pay our mortgage this month, but that really does help offset all of the costs from our rental property. We started getting charged for our gym in the middle of June, but I think the gyms are closing again, so I don't know what the amount is going to be for that this month. But below my expenses, I add another strip of washi, and at the very bottom, I write our total potential savings and total actual savings, and the little sticker is also from Letruce Paperie. Flipping over to the notes pages, I like to start with the floral arch, and then in the box at the top right, that is where I like to write our goals for the month. Generally, that means extra payments towards our mortgage or our cars. The past couple of months that meant refinancing our houses, and we also have been figuring out different investment options. In the box on the left, I like to write any important dates that are happening this month. July is a big birthday month for my family, starting with the 4th of July. The 14th is my dad's birthday. The 16th is my youngest son's birthday. The 18th is my birthday, and the 29th is my mom's birthday. And then I wrote that my husband had a work trip from the 6th through the 10th. At the very bottom, I like to keep track of my credit score, and I'm using these stickers from Latrice Paperie as well. Then in the box on the bottom right-hand side, I like to write any notes that I will need to remember for next month. In the large box at the very bottom, I like to keep track of all of our debt, which include my student loans, our 2 cars, and our 2 houses. And I'm really excited because I believe this is the second to last month before my student loans are completely paid off. I am currently not paying any interest on it because of the pandemic, so I've been taking advantage of that, and I have not been paying interest for the past few months. Flipping to the other side of the notes page, I'm going to cover the kaleidoscope design with the stickers provided, and I like to use this page for calculations that I need throughout the month. The 2 main calculations that I like to do are all of the bills for each half of the month. I always try to make sure that we have plenty in our checking account for all of those bills, and it's really nice to have it all written out because if I ever forget about a bill or something unexpected comes in, I'm able to look at this page and adjust as I need to. Moving past the monthly overview, I'm going to start by whiting out the hexagons on these 2 pages. I'm going to be using the transparent stickers on these pages, so I'm writing directly on the paper. And on this first page is where I like to have our weekly check-in. This is where I check in every week. I get all of my transactions in my monthly overview, and then I add up all of these categories separately. I'm honestly not super strict about our budget, but it's really nice to get an idea of our spending habits. There are usually some weeks where we are dining out a lot and others where we maybe dine out once. So doing this weekly check-in really just keeps everything in perspective of where we are as far as the month is concerned. And for the weekly check-in, I like to divide the month into 4 different weeks. What's easiest is to look at one week as Sunday to Saturday, so you can look right across the row and see all of your expenses. But of course, that means for some months that the first and last week will have different amounts of days. So in July, our first week is pretty long. It is 11 days from the 1st through the 11th. And then the last week is a little bit shorter. It is 6 days from the 26th through the 31st. Everyone does this a little bit differently, usually depending on when they normally go to the grocery store, but so far for me, this has worked out pretty well. The way that I set up this page is the first column, I have the 4 different weeks. The next column is the categories, and our categories that we keep track of are groceries, dining out, gas, household, and unbudgeted. The next column will be the amount that was spent for each category. Then we have the amount remaining in our budget for that category. And the very last column will be the amount remaining per week. So for week 1, whatever amount we have remaining, that will be divided by 3 since there are 3 weeks left. And for week 4, since we don't have any weeks remaining, I have a note section to write any notes to explain why we are over or under budget. And then at the very bottom, I have the total amount that was budgeted, what we actually spent, and how much we were over or under budget. In my budget results video, I usually try to go through week 4 and close it all out on camera. The final thing for this page is to add the transparent stickers as headers, and I love that these not only highlight, but it also divides each section out. On the opposite page, this is where I like to keep my spending log. This is where I keep track of all of my orders. This page is intended to help me not overspend on stickers, but it also allows me to make sure that everything I do order arrives. This page is pretty simple to set up. The first column is for the date, then the amount. The third column is for the description, and then the last 2 columns are to mark off whenever it is shipped or delivered. Especially right now with all the delays in the postal service, this has been a really useful page for me. As of right now, I'm still waiting on an order that I placed in May, and there are a few from June that I'm waiting on. I also wanted to mention that I started adding a sticky note to this page to remind myself of certain things that I knew I was going to purchase. That has allowed me to reevaluate if what I want to order is really necessary. For July, so far the only things that I had anticipated were new releases from the Coffee Monsters Co., and I also knew there was going to be a Simply Gilded washi pre-sale. But moving on to the last 2 pages for this month, this is where I have our sinking fund pages. I was actually supposed to write directly on the sticker for these last 2 pages, but I completely forgot when writing my transaction log. Thankfully, I had an extra transparent sticker, so I was able to use what I had written. This transaction log is where I write down everything that I purchase that have to do with sinking funds. This page is also pretty simple to set up. The first column is for the date, then the amount, next is the category, and then the description. In my budget results video, I'll use this page to close out my sinking funds. I used a transparent sticker to highlight the top, and then a regular sticker for the bottom. On the opposite side is where I have our sinking funds, and thankfully this time I remembered to write directly on the sticker. To set up this page, I will have our sinking fund categories in the first column. We definitely have a lot of different categories because this is something that I had been wanting to do for quite some time. But ever since starting sinking funds at the beginning of the year, I have added a few categories based on unbudgeted items that came up throughout the year. In the second column, I will add the beginning balance for each category. The next column is for any amount that I add or subtract from each category. And then in the last column will be the ending balance that will be filled in at the end of the month. Normally, I set aside $2,000 for sinking funds. Last month, I made that $3,000 because we did get an extra paycheck, but we also had a huge negative for home maintenance. This month, I decided to go with $2,500 since we don't have any mortgage payments this month. I am setting aside a big portion of that for home maintenance, but I also want to make sure that I'm not neglecting any of the other categories unless I think that category has enough. But starting with our 10-year, in a couple years, my husband and I will be celebrating 10 years of marriage, and we wanted to save up $10,000 for that. We don't exactly know what we're doing yet, but we want to do something special. I do want to mention that some of these categories have a fixed amount of how much I'm going to add every month. I calculated most of those at the beginning of the year. And then there are categories that are pretty flexible. So I usually add up all of the fixed amounts, and whatever is left over, I will divide it among the more flexible categories. But for our 10-year, that one is set at $300. For clothes, for my husband and myself, I added $20 each to those. And then clothes for the boys, I added $40. For makeup, I added $50. For entertainment, I added $100. We have quite a few birthdays in our family this month, so if we decide to do anything special, it will come from this category. For gifts, I added $200. Again, we have lots of birthdays to celebrate. Holidays is set at $125. For travel, I added $100. Medical is set at $150. For Invisalign, I'm adding $100 until I figure out how much it's actually going to cost and if insurance is going to cover any of it. For car maintenance, I added $100. And for home maintenance, I'm adding $1,000 this month. For school, I would normally add $300, but instead I just added whatever was left over after all of the other categories were filled. We are really not sure about preschool this year. We're kind of leaning towards no. So until we fully decide, I only wanted to add a little bit to this fund. For diapers, I am not adding anything because there is plenty in that fund. Dill is set at $75. Family photos is set at $25. And car registration is set at $50. But that is everything for our family budget for the month of July. As I had mentioned, I should have my July budget results video at the very beginning of August. If you have any questions, please leave them in a comment down below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.